Hi, I'm Early Clover. I'm the lead singer of the Cornell Gunter Coasters. I'm here at the Steve Wyree Theater, and you're watching Vegas on Demand.
In terms of an artist, I would like to be remembered for producing something that has provided joy in someone's life. That's really what my mission as an artist is to provide enjoyment. But it's also my worst critic is me, in that it's got to be something that when I look at it before showing it to anyone else, I have to know that it's there, and it's good work, and it's something that if I enjoy it, I feel that they're going to enjoy it as well. Here's my studio where I spend a great deal of my time working and developing my art. This is on this easel here. There's an old gentleman weaving a casting net. This is another Sapelo piece. This is one of my latest pieces entitled The Net Weaver. And he actually taught me how to make casting nets at a very young age. And of course back here it's painted with a lot of palette knife work. It's got a lot of abstract qualities to it, which I like. I'm actually getting looser with my work. That's sort of where I'm headed, is thicker painted, looser, and that's what the style I'm developing now is, just a looser look with a knife, more knife work instead of just brush. The process of any of these pieces is I start with a concept drawing, and sometimes I develop it into a sketch like this, which is on tone paper and chalk, and it gives me a better idea of how I want to accent the piece in terms of, later when I use color, how I want to utilize color with a piece like this. But I always start with black and white. And then here's another piece here, which is a mermaid piece. And this is a more refined drawing in terms of precision, in terms of line. And then from here I would go and do a color comp, which is a color study over this piece. And then from there I would do the final. And here's another one here, which is a black and white, same thing. This piece is ready to go to the final phase of the oil painting on canvas. If there's multiple figures, it takes me longer. Figures are the hardest thing to draw and paint. I mean, trees and things like that are more forgiving. You can have 1,000 limbs on a tree, you can have only 2. I mean, it's a tree or something like that is very abstract. The bushes, beaches, this kind of thing is very, very forgiving. Figures are not. You make one little mistake, one little eye is wrong, when the nose is off, and people will pick up on it. So, but that's one of the reasons why I like figurative work, because it's very challenging. This is actually a Sapelo subject here, a gentleman that I knew years ago. He would get this fire going and melt down lead out of one of the old sailing ships that R.J. Reynolds used to own on the island. But I thought he would make a nice subject as a three-dimensional piece. And so what I do is I like to go in there and cut out the edges. When I'm finished, I'm going to cut around and sand these edges so that they go around more. The corners or edges have more of a subtle transition. And then I incorporate like real material in some parts, like the pants and the hat. This is real cloth material that I've put a primer on and worked on. So these pieces can develop in a very interesting fashion. I started a series on women in nature, and she had the kind of look. For this piece, it's called Lady of Pompeii, and as you can see, she's got this little band on her arm, which is actually, if you studied Pompeii, it's from that time period, and with the serpent head, and it actually was considered good luck. A lot of people in their homes would wear these, and so I try to get into the spirit of what it would have been like to live back then, and so I thought she had a good look for what I had in mind, and it almost has with the dramatic clouds and the lighting, it just kind of brings out the spirit of what I was trying to do in terms of a painting. This piece here is entitled Spanish Rose. Once again, I used a crushed velvet for this one as well, because I just happen to like this color if if what I'm doing fits what I'm compositionally working on. It was a toss between that or some of this lavender purple, but I like this instead. I did the photo shoot. We actually wrapped material around her and emulated kind of a dress that I had in mind. And then from there, I made it look like a dress, a real dress. And that's what you're seeing here. And then I'll show you over here. There's a piece that I did, and it's just got kind of a whimsical feel. It's a little bit of a scary feel in the background with the forest, but the mothers and the daughter are reading fairy tale books here. I mean, this fairy tale book, they have it opened up and they're enjoying the moment with, the nice warm sunlight coming through the trees. And the background sort of carries over an abstraction of maybe what they're reading in a way. These are real models. Most of the work I do is with real models. Sometimes family and friends make good models. Sometimes real models make good models. It just really depends on what I'm doing. This is what I call the rough end stage. And it's nice because you can change it. You can change it to what you want. I mean, you can evolve it. You can, if there's some things I don't like in the background, I can change, I can paint over it. But the nice thing about it is you get a lot of nice textures and color, and and that's how I see this evolving. I usually think of a name at some point. This one I have no idea. This canvas I have here, this is something that I just started doing, and the whole point of it is that these canvases bring out the action of whatever the figure is doing, and this is from the early stuff that I did with the Sapelo Island paintings in terms of the boat painting and all that, the layering. Well, now I've gotten to where I want to layer the paint. I want to have the texture. I want to have the thick paint. I want to have the form just exploding out of this background with colors and beautiful textures, so that when you look at it, it's not just a dancer. You're looking at abstraction of areas. You're looking at all the wonderful things that happen in the composition, and so so it's really kind of nice to get in there and create some action, and the left hand's gonna do things that the right hand's not gonna do, and that's what makes it really interesting. And you just can't be scared when you're painting. You gotta go wild. You gotta just get in there. And I usually put my music on, and depending on my mood, that's what helps me get into these paintings and just enjoy them. When people, let's say, look at my work, I always tell them, don't buy it because you think it's an investment. Buy it because you love it and you want to enjoy it for many years to come, and your family. And it's something maybe you'd like to pass down to your children for them to enjoy as they get older, and they develop an art appreciation of some sort. That's what I tell them. I always tell them to look at the art and look at it from an aspect of enjoyment. And that's what art is. It should be enjoyed. The whole spirit of developing art should be an experience of enjoyment and development, and with no compromise.
This has been a presentation of Players Network.